everybody, welcome back to Project Happy Home. For those of you who are new here, welcome. I'm Tanya, a doctor, lawyer turned homeschool mom of 3 kids ages 15, 12, and 10. I'm always surprised when I say that now because they were little for so long and now they are not. If you are interested in videos about secular homeschooling, raising a child with ADHD, and living a more essentialist lifestyle, particularly as a woman in her 40s, you have come to the right place, so be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. As I mentioned, I do a lot of videos on secular homeschooling, including curriculum flip-throughs. All of those videos amount to over 400 now, and they are organized by playlists by both subject area and grade level, so feel free to check those out. Also, I would really appreciate it if you would go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Project Happy Home, where I share on a much more consistent basis. The channel has been a little bit slow for the past couple years, but again, I hope to get it going again as I'm more inspired to share topics about not only homeschooling, but about being a woman who is entering perimenopause in her 40s. So if any of that is of interest to you, again, let me know what types of videos you would like to see, etc. And I would love to share things that are of benefit to all of us. So in that spirit of community as women who are entering a different phase of our lives as our kids are getting a little bit older. That all being said, in today's video, I'm going to be telling you about my word of the year. Now, at least for the past 5 years or so now, I have done a word of the year. I think it's a really nice way to ground your intentions for the year, to center yourself throughout the year with one simple word, just to remind yourself of where your priorities lie, for where you want to grow and how you want to move in the world that year. I've selected a variety of different words, so you can feel free to check out all those videos if you need inspiration for your word. But today I had the word sort of spring to mind. It's been a very hard year. It's been a very hard few years. I mean, somebody told me, it's been 5 years since 2020 and the outbreak of COVID, and that did not feel real to me. I don't know if you guys are feeling similarly unmoored in a way, like from time and reality, because I feel like ever since the pandemic, certain things about life have felt derailed from like the normal course of things. And I think certain friendships were lost, the political climate has changed, connections were made and broken, certain traditions sort of fell by the wayside. A lot of things I think have shifted in the last 5 years for us. In one way, it feels like forever since 2020, and another way, it feels like no time at all has passed. And I feel like I've made a lot less progress in many ways than I would have wished to in many different facets of my life. And if any of this resonates with you, I would love to know in the comments below, because it really has been a strange 5 years. And in that strangeness, there has grown a certain sense of sadness and despondency and a little bit of melancholy, I think. I'm prone to be a melancholy person in general, so I have to work really hard to keep myself on an even keel. But I feel like in the last 5 years, that feeling of melancholy has become a little bit more pronounced than normal. And I want to make my best effort to move past this, because whatever this new reality is, whatever this post-COVID world is going to be, this post, 2024 election season is going to be, I really do want to make an effort to enjoy my life and to show up in the best possible way for my family and for my friends. And, there's all this doom and gloom everywhere. And I do not want to settle into that feeling of mirthless drudgery, basically. This like marching towards like an inevitable darkness. In light of that, the word that really sprung to mind for me was enough. Enough of this just plodding through my days, I think I've definitely tried to bring joy and stuff to my kids, but I feel like I have been less successful with that for myself. And I want to do better with that. And I want to shed a lot of the feelings and heaviness that I've been carrying, because it really does no one any good, least of all myself. So when I think of the word enough, I actually think of a scene from Love Actually. And that movie is very polarizing. People have very many opinions about it. I personally really enjoy it. I don't think they're the best love stories or models to follow, but I think that it's well written and a fun film. But the scene that springs to mind is the love story between the guy who likes his best friend's, fiance and then now wife. And the last scene with them where he shows up at her door and pretends to be carol singers and holds up all the signs and everything and tells her, you know, that for now, like, you are like everything to me basically, and I will love you forever. But then as he walks away, you know, and it's a nice little ending to that little weirdness. But when she closes the door and he walks away and like he puts down the placards and he's like, enough now. And he smiles to himself. And it's a very like, there are things in life that we want for ourselves that are not meant for us, or that maybe were meant for us and just didn't pan out. You know, there are things we would have wished to have done. There are choices we would have wished to have made. There's paths we would have wished to have taken, you know, friendships that we would have wished not to have lost, loves that we would have wished to have had. All of these things that may not have happened for us and may not ever happen. Like, there are doors that close in life, right? And I think we carry with us this huge sense of sadness for the life we imagined, or the life that may have been, or this choice that might have been made that we ourselves may not have made. And we can regret these things. We can regret our decisions. We can bemoan the loss of this or the lack of that. But I think enough now, you know, like, I think there is a time to like smile to yourself for whatever all of that was worth, all of those dreams that didn't happen, and say enough now, you know, to really just hold it in a box and say enough now. Put it on a shelf, throw it in the ocean, whatever you have to do, but put it away and say enough now. And I think the enough now applies not only to the past and paths we might not have taken, choices we may not have made, and that regret and rumination about that. Enough now to that. Also, it applies to the present day, and when we have a tendency to have tantrums, or when we have a tendency to think our thoughts in a certain unhealthy pattern over and over. I think it is time to say enough now. It is enough time being sad. For myself, honestly, I think it is enough now. And I hope that if you have been struggling with anything, you know, health issues, with your spouse, with your kids, with your work plans, with your family, with your parents, with your friends, with finances, I think those things are all real. I don't believe in ignoring our problems or pretending they're less than they are. And that's not what I'm suggesting. I'm simply saying that this tendency to ruminate, to go round and round our heads with a certain thought pattern about it, that's not moving us forward. That's not helping in any way. I think enough now to all of that. So maybe I have 2 words of the year, because I think enough can be kind of harsh. But I think enough now, in exactly the way he says it in that movie, Love Actually, is gentle to ourselves, but also firm, you know, and final. And I really feel that in my bones. Like, I feel that at this age of 45, enough now. My friends, I would love to hear what your word of the year is. Feel free to put it in the comments down below. Again, check out my other word of the year videos if you need any inspiration, or just to, you know, prompt some thoughts about what those words were. But it is okay to evolve. It is okay if I don't fulfill all my enough now goals for this year. But I think it's important that I try. And so when you pick your word of the year this year, I hope that you are gentle with yourself and the word. And I hope you remember that it's just a reminder. It is a help, as it were. It's not a command or a whip to make you feel worse as you strive to get just a tiny, tiny bit better. It's a help. It's a friend holding your hand. I hope that we all have a good 2025 as you go into it. I hope that we all have a good 2025. I hope that at least some of your dreams come true. I hope that your family is healthy and well. And I wish you all the very best day.